Have you ever looked at a map and wondered if nature made a mistake? Imagine a place with so many mountains that it almost feels as if every single person could have one of their own. From space, this part of China doesn't look like a normal mountain range at all. Instead, it resembles millions of tiny stone spikes, packed so tightly together that they look like a giant handful of toothpicks scattered across the earth. It's one of the most unusual landscapes on the planet. But here's the real mystery. Why are these mountains so different from almost every other mountain range you've ever seen? The answer takes us to Guangxi, a region in southern China that's home to one of the world's most spectacular geological wonders. Unlike the towering giants of the Himalayas or the Rocky Mountains, Guangxi's mountains are relatively small. They don't dominate the horizon through sheer height. Instead, they captivate you with their incredible shapes. Thousands upon thousands of steep, narrow peaks rise dramatically from the ground, creating a landscape so surreal that it almost looks computer-generated. At first glance, these mountains seem completely random, but they're actually the result of an incredibly slow natural process that has been unfolding for hundreds of millions of years. Every peak, every valley, and every cliff tells the story of water, one of the most powerful sculptors on Earth. When most people think about erosion, they imagine rushing rivers cutting through rock, and that's certainly one way mountains are shaped. This process is known as physical erosion, where flowing water acts almost like sandpaper, gradually scraping away softer rocks and sediments over thousands or even millions of years. A great example of this can be found in northern China, at the famous Yellow River stone forest. There, powerful rivers carved through layers of softer material, leaving behind dramatic rock formations. It's a breathtaking example of what moving water can accomplish using nothing more than force and patience. But Guangxi's mountains weren't created in quite the same way. In fact, the force that shaped this incredible landscape isn't something you can even see. It's hidden underground. The mountains of Guangxi are made primarily of limestone, a rock rich in calcium carbonate. Limestone is surprisingly strong and resistant to ordinary surface erosion. Rivers flowing over the top can't easily wear it down. So if surface water isn't doing the work, what is? The answer lies beneath your feet. As rain falls through the atmosphere, it naturally absorbs tiny amounts of carbon dioxide. That transforms ordinary rainwater into a weak carbonic acid, not strong enough to harm people, but powerful enough to slowly dissolve limestone. Then gravity takes over. The water seeps deep into cracks beneath the surface, where it begins an invisible chemical reaction with the rock itself. Instead of simply wearing the limestone away like sandpaper, the water actually dissolves it. During this process, calcium carbonate breaks apart into calcium ions and bicarbonate ions. Those dissolved minerals are then carried away by underground streams, grain by grain, molecule by molecule. It sounds insignificant, but now imagine that process continuing, not for years or centuries, but for millions upon millions of years. Slowly, entire mountains begin to disappear from the inside out. The towering peaks you see today aren't the parts that were created. They're the parts that survived. Everything around them was quietly dissolved and washed away beneath the surface. This remarkable process is known as karst formation, and Guangxi contains one of the finest examples anywhere in the world. What's even more fascinating is that this landscape continues to evolve over time. Geologists divide Guangxi's karst scenery into three major stages, almost like watching a time-lapse video of mountain evolution. The first stage is known as peak clusters. Here, mountains remain tightly connected, forming rugged groups of steep hills separated by narrow valleys. The landscape is dense, crowded, and only beginning to show the effects of long-term chemical erosion. As groundwater continues dissolving the limestone, the landscape enters its second stage, peak forests. Now the mountains become more separated from one another. Instead of continuous ridges, hundreds of slender peaks rise individually from the landscape like giant stone pillars growing from a green sea. This is the classic scenery that has made Guangxi famous around the world. Finally comes the third stage, isolated peaks. After millions of additional years of erosion, only a handful of solitary mountains remain standing above broad plains. They're like ancient monuments left behind after an entire mountain range has vanished. It's almost impossible to imagine that all three of these landscapes represent different chapters in the same geological story. Nature is simply showing us different moments in an incredibly slow transformation. Perhaps nowhere is this more beautiful than in the city of Guilin, one of China's most celebrated travel destinations. People have admired Guilin's scenery for centuries. In fact, there's a famous Chinese saying that translates to, "Guilin's landscape is the finest under heaven," And once you see it, it's easy to understand why. The Li River winds gracefully between hundreds of emerald green limestone peaks, creating views unlike anywhere else on Earth. Mist drifts through the valleys in the early morning, making the mountains appear as if they're floating above the water. It's no surprise that painters, poets, photographers, and filmmakers have all been drawn here for generations. Many of the mountains have become famous landmarks themselves, with names inspired by their unique shapes. Some resemble elephants drinking from the river. Others look like giant brushes, folded screens, or mythical animals frozen in stone. The landscape constantly challenges your imagination. Every turn reveals another mountain that seems almost impossible to explain, and the wonders don't stop above ground. Because groundwater carved these mountains from the inside as well, Guangxi is also home to an enormous network of caves, underground rivers, sinkholes, and spectacular caverns filled with towering stalactites and stalagmites. Some caves stretch for miles beneath the mountains, creating entire hidden worlds that remained undiscovered for centuries. In many ways, what you see above the surface is only half of the story. The rest lies beneath your feet. Scientists continue studying Guangxi because its karst landscape offers valuable clues about Earth's geological history, climate change, groundwater systems, and even biodiversity. These limestone environments support unique ecosystems, rare plants, and countless species that have adapted to life among the rocky peaks and hidden caves. It's a reminder that even landscapes that appear peaceful today are actually the result of powerful natural forces working continuously over unimaginable lengths of time. When most people dream of dramatic mountain scenery, they often picture snow-covered peaks, piercing the clouds, or towering cliffs stretching toward the sky. Guangxi offers something entirely different. Its beauty doesn't come from overwhelming size, it comes from extraordinary detail. Every mountain stands like an individual sculpture. Every valley tells the story of disappearing rock. Every river quietly continues the work that began millions of years ago. So if you've ever wondered whether nature can create art, Guangxi may be one of its greatest masterpieces. It's a place where water became an artist, time became its greatest tool, and ordinary limestone was transformed into one of the most breathtaking landscapes on Earth. Sometimes, the world's most incredible mountains aren't the tallest ones, they're the ones patiently carved one drop at a time, until nature created a masterpiece that no human hand could ever reproduce.